So one of the other things that I often think about in terms of what does make someone sort of more creative and more likely to innovate and disrupt in a space, and we have data on this, so we can think about it a little bit. And one thing that often pops up as a trigger for innovation and creativity is coming from another culture. So I've certainly experienced it, coming from Australia, moving to America, having this wild culture shock of a country that you think would be pretty much the same as the country you've come from, and you arrive and it's completely different in many different ways. I would imagine that the culture shock was probably fairly, somewhat more significant coming from Japan. Do you think that you're making the move changed the way you think about science, changed your approach in any way that was important?
I think absolutely. I don't have a control setting, so I don't know what would have happened if I had stayed in Japan or if I had, been born in the US. But I think this cultural shift, first of all, it kind of taught me resilience, which is an important quality of a scientist or maybe any other profession, because we do come across a lot of barriers and a lot of difficulties. And it's our ability to kind of overcome those things that enable us to move forward. And that definitely, coming from a different culture, has taught me that. Second is the adaptability. I had to adapt to a totally different language and culture, climate, everything else. And that, again, it taught me to be flexible and to be able to kind of assimilate myself in a different setting, and then survive in that setting. So multiple reasons why it has helped me, I think, more than harmed me, coming from Japan. And of course, my experience growing up in Japan as a child has really formed my sort of strong desire to speak up for women in science. And that's sort of the reason I left the country. So I definitely gave me, in addition to science, sort of advocacy and need to kind of speak up for people who are underrepresented.
Absolutely. And your leadership there has been absolutely incredible to watch from the sidelines.